By now we've all heard the big names, but there's still some must-haves out there outside the top 35. Let's check them out. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Jake, TheFantasyHeadliners. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there in YouTube land. Talking more must-haves today. This time we're going to go outside the top 35 overall players, though, just because you guys hear those names all the time. You can turn on almost any YouTube channel and hear about these top players. I don't want to go in the top players all the time. We're going to go a little bit farther down the list. These are names you've probably heard of, but these are must-haves for me this year based off of their ADP. The value you can get from these guys at where they're being drafted is huge, and it could totally benefit your fantasy roster all season long. Before I get into the list, though, two quick things. First thing, make sure you guys go over to the RotoBaller channel. Check it out. That live show is coming here in just a couple weeks. 1 hour before kickoff, we'll be live, interactive, helping you set your lineups, getting you last-minute weather advice, injury updates, whatever it is, we got you covered. And also, I know you guys like these videos short, quick, fast, and to get your information and get the heck out. And that's fine with me, too. But if we want to avoid getting a lot of ads on this channel, which I'm trying to avoid. I'm really trying to avoid it, but your boy needs some support. I got my Patreon account linked down below in the description. Make sure you hit that up. Show me some love. Show me some support so this show can continue to grow. Really appreciate that. And now, let's get into this list. All right, I told you guys we were going to stay outside of the top 35 players, and we're going to. I meant it. First person we're going to talk about is going to be Jarvis Landry, whose ADP is currently sitting at 46th overall, which is absolutely crazy. I get it. There's a lot of weapons now in Cleveland, but there's no guarantee that they're there all year long. Josh Gordon did just come back. He just reported, which is great news for the Browns. Is he there all year? I don't know. He's got some more legal issues with some back child support. I'm not going to get into all that, but who knows how that ends up here in the near future. Antonio Callaway has had issues with the law. There's signs leading to the point where these guys could miss time at some point this year, and that only helps Jarvis Landry. Jarvis has been there all offseason, building chemistry. He's already become Tyrod Taylor's go-to receiver, and the guy has done nothing but produce in this league before. He's got 100 reception upside with close to 7 to 10 touchdowns this year in an offense that needs to make a statement, right? The Browns went out, signed a bunch of big names, a bunch of players. They're trying to turn it around in Cleveland. They need to go out there and they need to put up some points. They need to win some ball games. And right now, Jarvis Landry may be their best option for that. One good thing that I love about Jarvis Landry, I preach on here to pick up your running backs early. Draft your stud running backs in the early rounds. What does Jarvis Landry give you? He gives you a solid, extremely solid wide receiver that you can pick up there with an ADP of 46th overall, so right around the 4th round. Go heavy running back. Take Jarvis Landry in the 4th. You still got yourself a solid wide receiver. Jarvis Landry is definitely a must-have for me this season. Well, I hope this isn't a jinx, because on the last must-have episode, I put Darius Geis on it, and that didn't quite work out so well. So hopefully I'm not the new John Madden curse here, and I'm going to name another rookie running back. I'm going to talk about Royce Freeman, and please don't let there be a curse where this guy gets hurt. If something happens to Royce Freeman, I'm never talking about a rookie running back again, like ever. Because I was really pissed about Geis. But anyway, Royce Freeman. He's on my must-have list. Right now, his ADP is 51st overall, so right around the 5th round, depending on your league size. And this guy's about to run away with the job in Denver. I don't know if you've seen him here in the in the preseason. If you haven't, check out some tapes. The guy looks great. He's already got multiple touchdowns here in the preseason. He's a 3-down capable back, and he has to beat out Devontae Booker. Pretty sure he can beat out Devontae Booker. I mean, I guess I could almost beat out Devontae. I probably couldn't. I'm not that fast. But anyway, 3-down back, decent offensive line, lots of weapons on the outside for Case Keenum to throw to keep the defenders outside of the box. And this guy is just a solid producer. And you're getting him in the 5th round. So at worst, hopefully he's probably your RB3. And with an RB3 with huge upside, if he can win this job by week 1, easy flex play week in, week out. Love Royce Freeman, trying to grab him in as many drafts as I can. Next is a guy who I had on an episode a couple weeks ago, and I called him a late-round target or a late-round flyer. Well, people are starting to realize that maybe he's a little bit better than that. So I'm going to bring him up again. I'm going to put him on my must-have list. I'm talking about Marquise Goodwin in San Francisco. This guy is the West Coast version of Tyreek Hill, right? And look at all the love that Tyreek Hill gets. Even though I may not be solely entrenched on the Tyreek Hill bandwagon, Marquise Goodwin I'm a little bit closer to being on. This guy doesn't have a whole lot of people to worry about taking his targets away. Pierre Garçon, he's there, coming back off an injury last year. George Kittle, separated shoulder, dealing with an injury now. Jerick McKinnon, banged up, missing the rest of the preseason. Dante Pettis has looked decent, but people realize this. Dante Pettis is out there going against the number 2s, 3s, and 4s. He should make them look bad. That doesn't mean he comes out week 1 as a starter, for that wide receiver group. Marquise Goodwin has already become Jimmy G's favorite target. He can blow the defenders off the line, and Jimmy G just airs it out to him. Literally, it's like a poor man's Tyreek Hill. And Tyreek Hill is valued as almost a top 10 wide receiver in some formats. Why are we still sleeping on Marquise Goodwin? Right now, last year he finished with just under 1,000 yards, and that's with only 5 games of Jimmy G. What's he going to do with 16 games? As long as he can stay healthy, right now his ADP is 81st overall, so right there in the 7th to 8th round, and that's huge value for somebody that you can also put there on your bench. If you went heavy running back early, Marquise Goodwin gives you huge upside to bridge the gap for all the stud wide receivers that you missed. Marquise Goodwin is somebody that I'm trying to take also in almost every one of my drafts, just for the upside alone. Let's talk about beast mode a little bit. And I know he's older, but Marshawn Lynch is still producing at an older age. I know last year didn't seem like he had a great year, but he still averaged over 4 yards a carry. He's still running behind a top 10 offensive line. It's an improved offense in Oakland where he should have goal line opportunities, and I know he's got competition behind him. Doug Martin, Washington, and Richard are still there. The undrafted phenom here in the preseason, Chris Warren, is taking over all the highlight videos and looks great. But don't fool yourself. This is Marshawn Lynch's backfield here in Oakland. He's going to get the bulk of the early down work, and he looks rejuvenated. That could have something to do with the John Gruden effect. It could have something to do with he knows that there's people behind him pushing him for his job. Just because he's getting older and he's had an injured past doesn't mean that he wants to just hand over the job. Marshawn Lynch is a beast. He's got that nickname for a reason. He's not about to just roll over and let somebody take the job for him. With somebody who has probably 800 to 1,000 yard upside with close to 10 touchdowns possible, taking him at the 68th overall pick to me is a necessity. If you didn't go heavy running back early and you're looking for one of these mid-round guys to really solidify your running back squad, Marshawn Lynch is not a bad option. I know he seems old, but he's really not that old. I have no issues with taking Marshawn Lynch right there in the 6th or 7th round. This last one is a little bit of a stretch, but let me tell you, if he hits, he's a league winner. I mean, this guy could single-handedly alone win you your league from where you take him at. Right now, his current ADP is 88th overall, 8th or 9th round. And I'm talking about Jordan Reed. And yes, I understand. The dude is literally made up of like paper mache and half-chewed purple now and laters. I get it. He just falls apart every year. I think his big toe's held on with like a paper clip. I don't know at this point. He's got a lot of issues. But he's inching closer to being 100% healthy for this year. And there's still options behind him after the 8th or 9th round that you can take, that if something happens to Jordan Reed, you didn't invest a whole lot into him, and there's still people that can produce behind him. You have the David Njokus and George Kittles. Heck, you could even pick up Vernon Davis late. And if anything happens to Jordan Reed, you just insert Vernon Davis. He's already had chemistry with Alex Smith since like the San Francisco 49er days, like a decade ago, and they were just fine. Vernon Davis is still playing at I'm not going to say a high level, but he's playing at a decent level, and Alex Smith is going to target his tight end, whoever it is. If it's not Jordan Reed, it's going to be Vernon Davis. They're going to be looking for red zone targets in Washington, and like I said, if Jordan Reed can stay healthy for like 13 games this year, I have no doubt that he's a top 5 fantasy tight end. So why wouldn't you take him in the 8th or 9th round? Pick up one of those other guys as a handcuff, as a backup just in case. But if he hits, you're going to look like a genius. Not just that, you're probably going to win a lot of games. That's what we're all here for, right? Jordan Reed is somebody you should be targeting late in your drafts. Just make sure you handcuff him and pray to the fantasy gods. Okay, so there's a few names. There's a few more must-haves for you outside the top 35 overall players right now. And I could have kept on going. There's lots of names out there, but I'm not going to sit here and make 45-minute-long YouTube videos for you guys. Make sure you're hitting me up down below in the comment section. If you guys haven't noticed by now, go look at all the old videos. I answer or comment or reply to every single question and comment asked on every single video. It's a lot of work, but I enjoy doing it. I enjoy interacting with you guys. Channel's still growing like crazy. Really appreciate the support. Make sure you guys are liking, commenting, subscribing. Look forward to hearing from you. We'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.